Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are honoring veterans this morning, and another way we're doing that is chatting with two women who both have such a strong connection now to Texoma and actually met in Germany, reconnected right here in Texoma, and have been such dear friends. We talked a little bit about both of their starts into the military career, and now, Rita, I'd like to just kind of go back to how did it escalate from there?
Well, I have to thank one of my mentors, chief nurse that I had when I was stationed at Grand Forks, North Dakota. She saw skills and talents that I did not recognize in myself, and so she kind of pushed me to apply for a couple of Air Force scholarships, and I was accepted to go to school for pediatric nurse practitioner, as well as my baccalaureate at Texas Christian University. And from there, I went to the medical center in Wiesbaden, where I met up with Joan for the first time. I came back to the States and finished my master's degree at the University of Texas Health Science Center. And at that time, they said it's time for me to have a career broadening assignment. I've been a nurse practitioner for about 11 years, and they said, we think you need to be a chief nurse executive. They sent me back to Germany, about 17 miles away from the medical center that I had just left 2 years prior. And so I was chief nurse of Rhein-Main Air Base, and it was one of the busiest bases in all of Europe. And at that time, it was, we had a lot going on in the Middle East. We've always had a lot going on in the Middle East. But I think one of the most dramatic situations that I had to deal with was on the 8th of August, 1985. A terrorist gang blew up the wing headquarters building at 7:30 in the morning. And we had 25 immediate casualties, and for a small clinic, that was really overwhelming. And so we were calling and getting helicopters to come in to take some of our injured down to Landstuhl, which was about an hour and a half away from us. We had ambulances going to Wiesbaden Medical Center, which was our medical center support for the many clinics that we had in Germany. It really did task all of our people in that clinic. And I must say that all of the medical readiness training that we have done for practice paid off, because everybody knew exactly what they needed to do, and we had some very, very miraculous outcomes with the patient care.
Now, what were you doing when that happened? Did you know what was going on?
Absolutely not. I was making rounds in the emergency room, which is what I always do. And the call came on what we call the red phone, came from headquarters and said that we have several injuries. We didn't know how many at the time, so we sent the ambulances that we had. And at that time, we didn't even know what happened. Later, we found out that it was the Baader-Meinhof gang, which had cells of terrorists all over Europe at the time. And they got access to the base by falsifying an ID card. And that's how they were able to get in and plant the bomb in the wing, close to the wing headquarters, which did a lot of damage to the headquarters building.
How would you say that changed your life? I mean, when you hear about terrorist attacks now, you know, a lot of people think of 9/11. And
yes.
You know, you just think of the horror, and you see it, and you know, you just see all that devastation and what those families have gone through. But unfortunately, it's not anything new.
No.
To a lot of people, and a lot of people who have served in our military, like you lived through that, witnessed all of that. So how did it change your perspective on things, and would you say security's changed? And
absolutely, absolutely. Well, 9/11 has changed our life forever.
Yeah.
But my last assignment here was as commander of the nursing training squadron here at Shepherd Air Force Base, and we train the best airmen for the best Air Force in the world. And our public can be so proud of what our young technicians and all the people on the medical care team do. Today we have hospitals that are in airplanes. We can pick up our casualties from the front line, take them to the medical centers that are out of harm's way, bring them back here to the States so they can get definitive treatment. And all of that has progressed so much since 1985. I mean, this is 2012 going on to 2013, and it's amazing what we in the military, and certainly the support of all of our medical people, the doctors, nurses, dentists. I mean, when you have a situation where you've got a lot of casualties, everybody has been through medical readiness training. They all know what needs to be done. So it doesn't matter whether you're a dentist or a pharmacist or whatever, we all are trained to take care of the casualties in the front line and get them in a safe environment and get definitive care for them as quickly as possible. And our survival rate now is amazing compared to what it was just even 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I'm very proud of what our medical teams have done.
And you know, they have to be the ones to just step up and go, huh?
Absolutely.
No time to even take in what's really going on, huh?
Correct.
Just kick it into gear and go.
That's
so
right.
that alone, I think, is pretty impressive too. So, goodness. Well, we appreciate you, of course, sharing that part. And I love how you said, you know, things really have advanced, and that's for the better, of course, for all Americans. Something else that has been a big piece of something you've both witnessed, or both were there when this event, the hostages being released, correct? That happened whenever the Iran hostages, whenever you were both in Germany.
Well, I was responsible for the emergency room at that time, and we always went to the flight line. And so I coordinated all the buses and got them all squared away with technicians and go to pick up all those Iranian hostages and bring them back. And they were an interesting group of people. They were so glad to be released. And I have some wonderful pictures that shows how the hospital opened up, accepted them, and we were able to visit with them. And as a matter of fact, I even got letters after I came back.
Wow.
So, but I'd like to kind of hang on what Rita said. I am so impressed. When I retired, which was many years ago in 1983, and I went to the school to visit or to be on a team to talk to them, I was so impressed how smart they are. They, you know, I would put any one of our kids, any one of our young nurses, technicians, up against any other and I'm not trying to downplay what they do downtown, but they're a smart group of people because they react to knowing what they're supposed to be doing. Yeah. And so, anyway, that's...
And that says a lot. And I understand you actually taking all of the knowledge and the hands-on experiences that you've both had over the years, and then were able to pour that in to some of these young people, correct? And how did you change that into the teaching, and how did that come about? What made you even have a heart to go ahead and take that field?
Well, I think learning from my first mentor, I always try to pay it forward. Yeah, and so over the years since I've been retired in 1995, I've been teaching leadership at the Air Force Academy Hospital to young technicians and nurses. I've taught pediatric nurses here at Midwestern State University. I've taught for the Area Agency on Aging. It's all about taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And it's like putting your oxygen mask on first. It's kind of one of those things we do in the Air Force, you know, you don your oxygen mask. And it really is reaching out to the community, and as I said earlier, Wichita Falls is such a phenomenal place to live and work, and the people that we've met here since we both have been retired, they're lifelong friends to us, you know, whether they're prior military or not. Wichita Falls is just a phenomenal community to live and work in.
And that's a good point, because both of you, which is how I've actually met both of these ladies from Texas Businesswomen, TBW, another great connection for women, you know, something going on. Any advice? Maybe there's women watching who are in the military, maybe there's women watching their husbands serve in the military, or their fathers, or their uncles, or just any little advice to the vets. Maybe they're young, maybe they would like to get started, that you would like to share.
For myself, I have to go back to what John F. Kennedy said a long time ago. Ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. We live in the best nation on the planet, and we've got to really bind ourselves together and support our military, support our leaders, and just take care of one another. That's what it comes down to.
Everybody needs to understand that they need to support our troops that are in harm's way, that they pray for them, pray for their safety, but also pray for their families. Mm-hmm. Because so many, we've lost so many, and yet it's hard for families to fully understand the dedication, the feeling that they have. When you're in the service, you're there to do a job to defend our country. Mm-hmm. And that's what's most important.
You're right. Well, we appreciate so much you sharing. And again, this is just a little bitty bit. I have pages here that we just weren't even able to get to, but so much that you have both done, each one of you ladies, and to serve our country. So I personally want to say thank you, and News Channel 6, we just appreciate you, and I know Texoma can agree with me as well. So thank you so much to both of you for what you have done, and we want to say thank you to all the veterans watching, and of course your families as well. We hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, we will see you back here next Sunday morning for another look inside Texoma.